Hello, this is Positive Vibes Enterprise. I am Tom Goodwin, and this is Michelle Ronquillo.
Hi, everyone.
And the subject today is possessions. In other words, what you own, what material things you own. Um, and in the United States of America, um, materialism tends to be really strong. It can be really important, and a lot of times people will want to dress a particular way. They'll want to have a particular type of house or car to let people know I'm not just a regular person. I'm part of the well-to-do. I'm connected. I mean something because we do live in a society that's very much connected with class. Being a capitalist society of the nature that we have, class plays a very strong role.
Yes, and let's talk about a little bit about possessions of material things. People get addicted to having them around and they become a comfort zone. Some people go into hoarding and everything is valuable that they've gotten in their lives. Material things are always fleeting and the spiritual values are forever. And when you have a spiritual outlook on life, then no material thing, possession, is going to take precedence over the importance of spiritual values.
Well, the numbing effect of possessions is that it tends to take up a lot of one's emotional energy and therefore it's not available to for the spiritual. And also people will lose, it's like a drug. You can lose yourself
Again.
in your possessions, and therefore you lose your spiritual connection. In other words, people become things, everything becomes things, and the human factor, which is the spiritual factor, tends to be taken out of the picture.
Yeah, sometimes people even go so far as to go bankrupt or lose all their uh, money over the possessions that they have to accumulate and have around them.
Well, they're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and they can live a lifestyle that they cannot. They're over their head. They're living a lifestyle that more than they can handle. Um,
Yes.
so um, I have had to, being a spiritual ascetic, I have I am used to not needing a lot.
Yeah, it goes into the minimalists as well. I mean, when you get into that mind frame, I mean, of course, everybody doesn't need to go as far as the minimalists do, where it's just a matter of clothes on your back and a place to sleep. But as far as watching the material things that you have and the necessary need for them around, it's important to understand that those things can control you and they can be a numbing part in your life. If you don't want to face something, you have your possessions to go to comfort you and, make you feel more secure.
Well, some people they've had enough of the responsibility of owning so much. It's too complicated. It's too much. So they tend to want to simplify their lives. So sometimes people will go and they'll try to simplify, and they'll find that once they simplify, it's a lot easier and a lot less stressful. It's very stressful having to own all and maintain all these possessions. So that's why some people tend to go the other direction sometimes so that they don't have all that burden.
And then also, it takes people's stress away when they are trying to maintain a certain status quo in society. They might be fake as far as, everybody thinks that they have a lot of money or a lot of possessions. In reality, they're broke and bankrupt, but they keep on a facade so they can hold that feeling of security or even that spiritual illusion of belonging.
And then there's a certain, when it comes to the spiritual, one has to have a sensitivity for the people that don't have enough in this world.
Yes.
And it's kind of hard to be sensitive to the people that don't have enough when you have too much, when you have so much.
And you're in denial.
That means that you're not going to be sensitive. There are people that struggle to get an apartment, to get a place to live. They're struggling to get by day. And they tend to get tuned out by people that are into things so much because that's going in a totally different direction. You're going in the direction of excess. And when you have excess, then you're sort of like being insensitive to those that don't have enough. And so that's very important thing spiritually, to have an awareness of how a lot of people don't have that much, so don't tend to hog the trough, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And then people with too much focus on possession lose that connection to the empathy and the spiritual connection that is important, that we come in alone and we go out alone, and we're not taking anything with us.
I understand that when you're in particular fields, you, an engineer or whatever, you have certain material things that go with the trade or whatever. But that's different than having things that have nothing to do with what you do for a living. Because people that work on cars or whatever, they're going to have tools and things related to it. And they may have a car that is kind of interesting because that's sort of like what they do. But that is different than just owning things just for the sake of keeping up with other people and stuff.
Random material things like purses or hats or shoes, or things that get over obsessive with people just having to collect them. Even Barbie dolls and things that are just in a box on a shelf. That's with getting the next and latest one. That they forget that in those possessions is some kind of emotional, spiritual lacking, and really find out what's going on in the heart of it.
Well, people can get sort of superficial when they get caught up, because if you're really into the spiritual, your personality, your feelings, and your human factor is so important that how you look doesn't count as much. But if you're sort of like superficial and you don't have much of a spiritual anchor, then you have to do something to replace that, to make yourself stand out and look, because that's what you have to have, some way to say, here I am, I'm part of this world. And
I am also going to mention the people that get plastic surgery and different surgical operations. This counts as possessions, because even though it's your body, you're still kind of going into, well, I need a new nose, or my eyes aren't quite close enough or far enough, or my boobs aren't big enough, or things like that, into the lack of spiritual stableness of just accepting what we have spiritually. We come in, and those are the things that we need to embrace and not try to change or possess.
Unless we have some kind of deformity, and that's a rare thing. That's when plastic surgery has a role, is when
when it matters of your life.
Yeah, when you have something, that real distortion that makes you look really bad, really extreme. But that is different. There's a lot of marketing in our society, advertisements and so forth, that are materially oriented because of the amount of capitalism. We tend to have an excess of capitalism, you could say, in our culture, where material things are being advertised all the time.
Well, it also goes into the holidays as well. Look at Christmas is more.
Well, yeah.
Is that more for the people, or is that more for the stores?
So the commercialism plays a strong role, because what they want, they want our society to be run in such a way that we keep buying and buying, and the economy will be run by how much we purchase. We supposedly work on the treadmill, so to speak, make as much money as we can, work, and then what we're supposed to do is buy, so other people can work, and then we can buy.
Yeah, and then the marketings are all about psychologically positioning things So you will buy things and that you will purchase things. And so you have to be, watchful of that as well, that there are businesses and companies and marketing things that are really trying to get you to get those possessions, get those things in your head that you might need to buy this, or a quick shopper right at the grocery store with every last bit of impulsive buyer can purchase that last minute thing. So those things in our society, we have to be strong and vigilant and watch for those types of spiritual traps that lead into addictions of possessions.
Yes, we could do a lot better spiritually if we weren't caught up in all the things that are really not that necessary to our well-being and actually tune us out to a lot of the serious problems that are very relevant in this world.
Yes.
This is Positive Vibes Enterprise. The subject today was possessions. I think we covered it pretty well.
Thanks for joining us.
And please subscribe.
Yes, subscribe and share and let us know what you're thinking.
Thank you.
Bye.